It's a danger most businesses don't even know is lurking inside their walls. Employees spinning up apps, downloading tools, or even installing their own servers without permission. That's why security experts say shadow IT could be the silent threat that takes your company down.
We went into the back of one of the server rooms, and one of the owners of the company had set up a Bitcoin mining rig, and he had 17 Bitcoin miners that were set up running on their network where they had all of their production data.
That's shadow IT in action. It's any technology employees use without IT approval. It could be a file sharing app, a personal cloud account, or even hidden hardware plugged into your network. And experts say it's one of the fastest growing risks businesses face.
Things seem to be running slow on the network. File transfers are taking a long time. A number of our customers are in the financial services space, so they're looking at real-time or near real-time trading data, and sometimes they're seeing that stuff is a couple of seconds to up to a minute delayed, and that can mean the difference between them making money and losing money.
And in some cases, shadow IT leads directly to disaster.
The non-technical person had downloaded a number of different applications from a repository, a GitHub repository, and left credentials on one of the GitHub repositories. And ultimately what was found was that something that they downloaded had some active malware on it, and there was a callback functionality back to the control server. And when that happened, what we found was that the threat had moved from the employee's machine to move laterally throughout the entire environment, because again, the same administrative username and password was used on all the workstations, and it wound up encrypting the bulk of the hard drives of the local workstations, as well as the server drives that had their data on it.
The bigger danger, Howard says, is that most people underestimate the threat.
If you think about your computer systems as a house, as a homeowner, you probably know that there's one or two ways you could get into your house if you got locked out. You've just been on the road for 5 hours. You don't want to break a window to get in, but you don't have your keys with you. There's probably a back door that you know that if you pull and lift up just right, it'll open up. Or a window in a back room that isn't blocked and you know exactly how to slide it open, right? So as a homeowner, you know that there's a couple of ways you can get into your house. Now, extrapolate that out. If there was somebody that didn't care about what kind of damage they were doing to get into your house, how many ways could they figure out how to get in? And it's probably a lot more than the one or the two that you would use to not create any damage. So the same way with networks, very often we don't think there's a real way to get in because we haven't taken the time to look as if we were an attacker. We look as a friendly participant. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest things that people don't realize. They need to look at their systems with an eye towards, if I didn't care what kind of damage I was doing, how would I be able to get in?
And training? He says once a year checkboxes aren't enough.
What we find is that at least a monthly, more importantly, or when possible, a weekly training exercise, and it doesn't have to be half an hour or an hour at a time. We're talking about bite-sized 2, 3, 4 minute trainings to keep it top of mind.
And the consequences for ignoring shadow IT can be catastrophic.
If an auditor or a regulator came in and found an unapproved app when they were doing an audit, it could be a slap on the wrist or a closing down of the business.
So what can businesses do right now to prevent it?
I think most importantly is not looking at training or policies as a one and done. It's an exercise that we do once a year. Rather, it's a culture that has to be instilled in the organization, and that culture has to come from the owners or the management down. They have to take it seriously.
Experts say what you don't know will hurt you, and shadow IT is the hidden threat every business should be watching for.